Hi, I'm Jim Inhofe, a Republican senator from Oklahoma and the top Republican on the Senate Committee on Environment and Public Works, and I'd add I'm the chief critic of the Obama administration's radical far-left global warming agenda. Let me begin by thanking my good friends at CFACT for making the long trip down to Rio for the United Nations Sustainability Conference. No one is better than Marc Morano with ClimateDepot.com, Lord Monckton, David Rothbarb, Craig Rooker, and the rest of the CFACT team at exposing the far-left environmental agenda. And their efforts this time around are critical, as the UN will discuss how they want hundreds of billions of dollars from the United States taxpayers to be spread around the other nations. As Fox News reported back in April, and this is a quote, they said the main goal of the much-touted Rio +20 United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development is to make dramatic and enormously expensive changes in a way that the world does nearly everything, or as one of the documents puts it, a fundamental shift in the way we think and act. According to Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, proposals on how the challenges can be and must be addressed include more than $2.1 trillion a year in wealth transfers from rich countries to poorer ones in the name of fostering green infrastructure, fostering climate adaptation and other green economy measures. Secondly, new carbon taxes for industrialized countries that could cost about $250 billion a year, or a 0.6% of gross domestic product by 2020. Other environmental taxes are mentioned, but they're not specified. 3, they talk about the major global social spending programs, including a social protection floor and a social safety nets for the world's most vulnerable social groups for reasons of equity, whatever that means. And 4, even more social benefits for those displaced by green economy revolution, including those put out of work in undesirable fossil fuel industries. The benefits, called investments, would include access to nutritious food, health services, education, training and retraining, and unemployment benefits. Whatever happened to sovereignty? This is total surrender. At least Secretary Ban Ki-moon admits what they're doing. With that kind of far-left agenda taking place at the Rio conference, we need CFACT and others to go down there and keep an eye on these guys. And I appreciate your efforts. I'll be keeping up with all of your dispatches from Rio. And as you know, I had considered making the trip myself, but realized that no one in Washington even knows that the conference is taking place. This is not like it was in 1992. President Obama is avoiding it like the plague and will not be attending, and his allies in Congress haven't made a single speech on the conference. Far-left environmental groups have done their best to stay under the radar. It appears that even the liberal establishment in Washington wishes this whole UN conference would just go away. In fact, it also appears they want to ditch aggressive real grassroots activism in favor of virtual activism from the comfort and convenience of their homes. We have come a long ways in 20 years. Of course, things were much different at the original Rio Earth Conference in 1992. Do you remember when then Senator Al Gore, who was running for vice president, attended? You might be surprised to learn that he was in Rio with Representative Henry Waxman, Hollywood celebrity Woody Harrelson, along with a number of environmental groups. Now, back in 1992, Al Gore traveled down to Rio for the United Nations Conference and said that he was there to, quote, send a powerful message, unquote, and went on to criticize President Bush, saying, quote, we want President Bush to speak for the American people at the Earth Summit. We applaud his decision to go to the Earth Summit, but many of us, frankly, are appalled by his energetic efforts to stop progress toward meaningful agreements at the Earth Summit. Well, Mr. Gore, at least he went. What do you have to say about President Obama's absence? Your silence speaks volumes. You know, the bottom line is simple. President Obama is running for re-election, is too busy trying to tell American voters that he is the new fossil fuels president and that he actually supports the development of oil, gas, and coal. I don't think that message would sell too well at the conference with his friends down there. But just wait until after the election, heaven forbid if he wins, then as he has promised, he can get back to making his far-left global warming agenda a top priority. Remember, we have already documented that his administration has spent nearly $70 billion of taxpayers' money on global warming efforts that we didn't even know about. To end, let me say thank you again to CFACT and everybody else there on the ground who are there to keep the United Nations accountable. We need you more than ever right now, and I'll be keeping in close communications with you over the week. Good luck, you guys.